Definitely crazy weather today. Raining, sunny, windy. It looks like it's okay here at the moment. And I guess with that in mind, what I read today, it's kind of crazy. Imagine this, like yesterday, places were starting to open up again and it was really busy, as you know. But imagine in some other places where they're insisting in things like lockdowns and stuff still. Apparently that's what's happening in Shanghai, but it's so extreme where people are being forced to stay at home. They can't even go out to get groceries and so forth apparently. So to get kind of a bigger picture of what's going on, you have to read this first. It says, Shanghai residents running out of food in COVID lockdown. Apparently it's been weeks so far too, and it says some residents under lockdown in Shanghai say they are running out of food amid the city's biggest ever COVID outbreak. Residents are confined to their homes, banned from leaving for even essential reasons such as grocery shopping. Nearly 20,000 cases were reported on Thursday in China's biggest city, another near record high. Officials have admitted the city is facing difficulties, but they say they are trying to improve this. But public anger is also being stoked by other drastic measures, such as removal of children from their parents if they test positive. Shanghai officials later responded by allowing parents who were also infected to accompany their children to isolation centers. That is crazy. Being stuck in the building, can't go out for any reason at all, being separated from your children and all that. So with that in mind, that's where the story gets kind of crazy. Because apparently people are going crazy. For example, you can see in these social media posts, look at this, it says, what the? This video taken yesterday in Shanghai, China, by the father of a close friend of mine. She verified its authenticity. People screaming out of their window after a week of total lockdown. No leaving your apartment for any reason. Imagine that. Usually when you go to places like what, a forest or something like that, you'll hear, I don't know, coyotes and stuff howling. Here, I guess people are screaming because they want to get out and so forth, huh?
5分钟前头，俺们叫我没几个了，现在突然之间，所有人都叫了，要死。
As they say too, there is a supply issue apparently with food, and even these videos are coming out where like this one here shows a guy taking the risk, so to speak, to go outside to get some food, but he's being stopped by, I guess, officials. And then you hear, I guess, residents cheering for the guy to actually, I guess, have the guts to try to go out, because it is like a quote communist country, so you don't abide by the rules, I guess you're gone, so to speak, correct? Now, how harsh is it? Apparently, like, even with these videos, it shows you like what they stated there before, where they're taking kids away from parents if they're found to be, I guess you could say, positive with COVID. Like here, you can see these videos where look how strict they are in trying to enforce, I guess, quote, social distancing. And these are people within the same household. For example, the mom, the dad, I guess here, and the child. Yet they're still like yelling in their faces to spread apart. Again, they live in the same household. How does this make sense with science in general? And to ensure, I guess, that people are locked down, imagine this with drones. They're apparently flying drones around, I guess, at the nighttime telling people to stay indoors. But what they say through the speakers is kind of shocking, because apparently you can hear in the video, they basically say something along the lines of, please comply with the COVID policies and so forth. It says, control your soul's desire for freedom. Do not open the window or sing. Try thinking about that. That's kind of crazy. Control your desires of freedom. Do not open the window or sing. It's like stay in there like a caged animal, I guess.
9名家园的居民朋友们，在疫情封控期间，请严格遵守市政府相关防疫规定，控制灵魂对自由的渴望，不要开窗歌唱，此行为有疫情传播的。
Now with that too, with the food shortage, apparently people are using drones to actually send food such as vegetables to their neighbors and so forth. Now one thing about all these videos, because I know in general it's kind of hard to tell if this is recent or not, because even with things like the war and so forth, there's so many videos that surface which actually are not taking place like on the actual day as an example, so I can't really verify everything in general, but that's just crazy to think about. To me, it just brings up so many topics just in terms of things like lockdowns and all that. I think this should show realistically, shouldn't it, factually, where extreme lockdowns don't work per se. If that was the case, then every country that implemented this type of procedure should be in the clear by now, correct? But that's not the case. I'm inclined to say during times like these, people always say trust the science, and I would agree. You should actually trust things like data, verify facts and all that, and go with it. But at the same time, you have to consider this in mind too. You should trust history. Because when it comes to things, I guess, like people with power and so forth, they could go, quote, mad with power, create all these restrictions and rules that make absolutely no sense. That's not, I guess you could say, quote, based on science. It seems like it's more about control, like do this or else. Like again, that makes no sense. People in the same household and so forth, breaking them apart. How does that make sense scientifically? That's almost as worse as what is worse actually. It was ridiculous like here, where health officials were saying, I guess couples, like literally couples that live with each other, where when they make love, it was suggested that they should wear a mask. Like, how does that make sense for couples who live with each other and are intimate with each other, like, I don't know, every day and so forth? How does that make sense scientifically? It makes you think too, just in terms of things like regulations and all that, with things like drones, like if they're showing videos of, let's just say, people using their drone to deliver vegetables from their own garden to help others because it's super light and all that, and they're really close. Imagine that, saying, nope, it's illegal in every single way to use that unless you pay, I don't know, what is it, $2,000 for fees and registrations, $10,000 worth of, I don't know, training and all that. Wouldn't that be ludicrous? Kind of like there, like with any topic in general, if it doesn't make sense logically in terms of things like safety and all that, it's over the top. In my opinion, you shouldn't give people more authority to have control over things that aren't necessary in that case. Because if it goes too far like this, that is just nuts in terms of the lockdowns and stuff like that and how people are treated, in my opinion. All right, see you guys later.